Hi everyone. I hope you're all doing really well. So, I wanted to speak today about the powerlessness that the divine feminine, often goes into on this journey. And I have spoken of this before, but I felt like I should explain this a little more and maybe supplement, that information a bit more and go into what this powerlessness is. So, first of all, understand that this is not about you feeling powerless. As much as you're down right now and you're feeling upset or you're feeling very, 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 very triggered, this has nothing to do with how disempowered this journey has made you. It's actually quite the contrary. In this journey, you are not supposed to be giving your power to your counterpart. You're not supposed to be in that chasing energy. The entire problem with this is that because of YouTube, I sometimes think it is so difficult to find the right kind of understanding about this journey. Look at this journey as a spiritual awakening journey. So, because when I just realized that I'm on the twin flame journey, right? And I didn't know what this term was, and I just looked up, the signs about not being able to forget somebody, constantly thinking about someone, and sudden ghosting and stuff like that, which I didn't understand. Then I was led through the internet to understand the term called twin flames. And on Quora, I remember just having come across some answer where somebody had said that union is possible when you don't have desire for union, and when everything is just sort of you're in that place where you are very, very awakened and you're very, very aware, and you have come into your power and everything. And I did not understand any of that. What did it mean that I had become very aware, I'd become very awakened? And I thought that I was already very aware, but at the same time, I thought that the kind of awakening that this answer is speaking of is something very powerful and massive. And I really doubted myself that I would ever be able to reach that stage where I would ever be so awakened, where I have taken my power back from all situations and stuff like that. Okay. So, anyway, when I read that answer, I thought, this is beyond me. This is never going to happen. I hope that I can just forget about this person. And then, somehow I think I started looking on YouTube, and I came across more and more sort of videos about it. And this term called DM and DF started to show up everywhere. All right. And I saw a lot of tarot readings from people who were clearly not on the journey. Now in hindsight, I can tell, because when you are on the journey, you are a very different person. You don't act in this way where you don't understand it, and superficially, maybe some tarot card readers have sort of capitalized on this terminology and are trying to explain it, by just reading it and by just understanding it, and are trying to play up the emotions of people by telling you that they're going to contact you, that this will happen, that they're going through immense pain, that right now they're realizing, what they missed out on, that they are awakening right now, and all of that. And you will see how thousands of videos are uploaded on this, regularly, on these themes, exactly the themes which are very, very attention catching. If I wanted this channel to grow faster, I could have, done something similar, but that is obviously, not my intent at all, right? I just want to be very honest and just share, through my own understanding and experience and nothing else. So clearly, this was what, I looped on for a very long time, and I didn't understand it. And I thought, oh, if this tarot card reader on YouTube is able to say this, then this really must be happening. And then I bought my own set of tarot cards and I learned tarot. And, there was one channel that I used to follow just for fun, but it had really good advice on also tarot and stuff like that, that I really enjoyed. But I got so hooked on this prediction value, like when is it going to happen? Like the monthly reading, I used to, look forward to the Cancer monthly reading on this particular channel that I used to like. And every time the reading would resonate amazingly with me, and the reading would say, this month you may have somebody contact you out of the blue, and the situation, that the lady would describe would be perfect. And I would just think, oh my God, this is the month and it's really going to happen. And obviously that month would come and go, and I would even forget about that reading, because by the time the month ended, I would have watched 1,000 other readings, right, to not even remember. And I would be obviously, no such prediction ever came true. This is exactly, the mix that we get stuck in, on the journey, and we start thinking that it is about that energy update. What is happening with the masculine energy? What is happening with the when is the contact going to come? When is this going to happen? What are they realizing right now? What are they feeling right now? And that entire process of focusing on, YouTube based content, what it basically leads you into doing even some very well intentioned, content, which sometimes can actually be helpful when you're really really down and out. Sometimes, your guides can be sending you messages through some people, some readers, but they'll be very specific. The numbers on those maybe can be your specific numbers or something like that. If they can have your date of birth or whatever, then that those are maybe the messages for you. But basically, what this actually ends up doing is that when you get very hooked on this, your entire focus ends up being on your divine masculine. And you can spend years and years and years thinking that your life, the way it is happening around you right now within you, is somehow less important than what is happening in the divine masculine template or collective or whatever. And that is the biggest mistake of this journey, that it is the well intentioned readers or the well intentioned people also are not able to bring the focus back to you, because sometimes, they want the channel to grow, or they want, people to have more views and, all of that. And because of that, the focus inevitably ends up going on such titles. But if you really really want to be uh, making progress on this journey, you have to shift your focus back to you. It is not about that person. You are not some disempowered being, who is now supposed to sit around waiting for another person around whom your entire world revolves, around whom your entire decision making revolves. You can't take a decision anymore till you know what is up with your divine masculine. You can't go on a holiday anymore because you don't know, you plan to go on it with your divine masculine and they aren't showing up. And now you're wondering if you should wait for when they show up, then we can go on a holiday. You know what I mean? Or something else, that you're doing. Maybe you're trying to look a certain way, lose weight, or get some hair treatment or whatever it is, so that when your divine masculine comes around, that you are in a perfect shape, or form, or something like that. This becomes the subconscious mentality of the divine feminine. And this is so common, so natural, so normal, that we put things on hold for our divine masculine. That we somewhere think that when they come around, then my life will move forward. And that doesn't happen. So eventually, it can take a while for you to understand that it is about you. It is not about your masculine disempowering you and taking away your power. It is about them, through separation, through triggering you, through not being around you, through ghosting you or blocking you or whatever it is. They are trying to tell you, you have the power. Don't give me your power. I don't want your power. I don't want you to revolve around me. Revolve around yourself. Do what is important for you. What do you like to do? What are your passions? Sometimes in our twin flame journey, we forget about our passions. So we go through a spiritual awakening, and because of the spiritual awakening, we lose our old self completely and we enter a new self. All right. That new self is a very different, evolved kind of a self, which is not easily triggered, which is more conscious, which is more aware of everything that's happening, which is more centered in the present moment, which is working, with the divine gifts, which is very conscious of the subconscious wounding and patterns and judgments, that the old self used to carry and everything like that. So this new self, can in creating our new self, sometimes we discard the old self, which automatically also gets discarded. But sometimes we discard the good things of the old self as well, the things that were probably not so bad. Maybe some skills that you had, maybe some interests that you had, maybe a certain thing that you used to enjoy doing. Maybe you enjoyed art, or you enjoyed driving, or you enjoyed traveling, or you enjoyed some things, that you're no longer able to do, or certain things that lit up your heart. Maybe you liked working with children, maybe you liked working with elderly people. It can be anything, I mean, or animals, right? This is what, now maybe going through this journey you could have probably put behind. But this is where you have to start refocusing and bringing those things back into your life which used to give you peace. and going deeper and deeper into those things. So maybe earlier you liked animals, but your involvement with animals was not that deep. But now, because of the awakening you have gone through and that inclination you already have, or the love that you already feel for animals, you can go deeper into connecting more with animals. You can just be in nature, you can just observe birds, okay? You can just be in nature, you can just observe ants, right? You can just be with some animals on a farm, maybe, or your dog or your cat or any other kind of an animal, right? Around you, you can just start to experience a closeness, with life around you, that already you had the tendency to, wanting to experience that even in your old self version, but not being able to go deeper into that. All right, or maybe you liked children, maybe you knew that you had to work with children or with the old people, that really moved you in some sense, okay? And but it was more superficial, this kind of an interest or this kind of an inclination. Now you're able to go deeper into that, and you don't have to be a rescuer. You also realize that the old self sometimes thought that she is the rescuer of other people. No, after you spiritually awaken, you realize you are not the rescuer of anybody. Everybody is divinely loved and guided and protected. You can be a divine facilitator. It's not the onus of rescuing people is not on you. It's always on the divine. We are not the divine in that sense, where we think that we know better than somebody else, and we will be able to assist somebody better than they will be able to assist themselves as, or something like that. So this is with a lot of maturity, a lot of responsibility and balance. You can start revisiting the things that used to inspire you. Maybe you liked traveling earlier, and then after your awakening journey and going through all of this, you put travel on hold because so many things were happening. Maybe financial setbacks were happening and all of that. Now, if you're financially stabilizing, or you're thinking of going on a kind of a travel that you would enjoy, why not go and do that, right? Maybe you liked writing. Maybe you liked writing on certain things with a different perspective, and you gave that up completely going through this journey. And maybe your inner self wants to write again. So you can start looking at what kind of stuff can I write about in a loving way, in a way which is uplifting for other people, in a way where I'm sharing what is coming naturally to me, effortlessly. Effortlessness is the whole, the key word here. So essentially, this is how you will take your power back. This is how you will make your life meaningful again. Your life is not meaningless because a person departed from your life physically, by just ghosting or blocking or whatever. It is just that it is now about you understanding that I have gone through this spiritual awakening. I'm still going through it. There are lots of old things that I'm shedding. There are lots of ways of being that are brought to my notice that I'm able to look at, I'm able to release, I'm able to move past, right? And this is all very incredible. It's really, really beautiful and amazing and everything. But going forward, what can I do where, how can I now start creating a new life for me? A new life which is not built from the old patterns, but a conscious life, a beautiful life for me. A life where I'm very fulfilled, a life where I'm very happy waking up, because I wake up and I have so many things to look forward to. I have to do so many things during my day. You know what I mean? So that is exactly what this journey is about. That you take it in your stride, that instead of thinking I'm powerless, I don't have anything to do, I'm in a lot of pain, you feel that pain, you do all the crying that is coming up for you, you experience all of that. But if you are stuck watching readings and trying to understand what is the update here, what are they currently feeling for me, what is the current experience happening through various portals, and trust me, I was also just so into this whole pattern of like portals, that 10, 10, 9, 9, 8, 8, this and that, and seeing all these readings and these predictions of what this portal is bringing and all of that. Sometimes it used to help me make sense of what I was experiencing, but most of it used to be garbage, because as much as there are collective themes, there are also very individualistic themes, and you can be very conscious individual, and you can sort of ride out the collective themes for you. If you stay balanced and you are meditative and you are in the present moment, you're divinely connected all the time, you will ride out everything. And if you stay in awareness of what gets incited inside of you, if there is a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse, if you can just be an aware individual and you can start looking at, okay, I'm feeling agitated right now, and you know that there is some planetary stuff which is happening that may have contributed to this agitation, but you also know that you can work around it. How? By just being aware of this agitation, just noticing this detached, in a detached way, and processing the feeling. If it is bringing up a feeling, you can, if you want to, you can indulge that feeling, you can feel that feeling, you can go deeper into that feeling. Okay. You can utilize the time of eclipses to do your subconscious work, because that is the time when what is basically eclipsed comes out. What lays hidden is now able to show itself. So, incredible time to just utilize that time to do this. You can utilize the time to maybe just, do more cleansing around you. Maybe you can clean your house, you can clean your room, you can light some incense or something else, or you can maybe go for a walk, be in nature. You can be alone, for a few days, and all of that. You can be by a river body, or whatever it is that is healing and cleansing for you. Okay, you can completely cut out YouTube, because instead of watching 10 videos on what a particular kind of a portal is going to bring into your life, you can just really live your life instead. Instead of living our lives on YouTube, we can shift into living our lives in person. All right. I know that this is also going to be uploaded on YouTube, so the irony of it is not lost on me. But I'm just generally saying that this is here to just help you shift your perspective. Understand that when you see a lot of that content, we're bombarded with all that, content about what is happening and this and that, and YouTube also gives automatic notifications for so much nonsense. And we start thinking, this must be for me, that must be for me, this is what's happening. We are really out of touch with what is exactly happening. We are out of touch with what life really is. In life right now, you're sitting somewhere, you're eating something, you're drinking water, you're experiencing a day in a certain way. All of that, the focus from all of that is taken away and is brought into YouTube, into the divine masculine energy. That is disempowering, and that is defeating the purpose of this journey, and that is delaying and further sort of stopping your progress on this journey to a great extent as well. Yes, for sure, that is correct, right? So to not be in that disempowered state on your journey, it is your onus and your responsibility. Okay, so the problem, that we basically end up having is that we start thinking that the physical absence of the divine masculine is what, the divine feminine is supposed to fixate on, and she's supposed to be in an ever waiting situation. That, okay, somewhere the concept is that she's supposed to wait and she's supposed to, do this and do that. But basically, waiting is a very, very heavy chasing energy. It creates this heavy cloud around your counterpart as well, and it really is a very off-putting kind of an energy. Like I've already spoken of this. If you know somebody is waiting for your call or your message or something like that, it is so much pressure. So why have that pressure? Why not just focus on yourself? Why should you be thinking that you are some kind of an incomplete life who has to wait, for good things to happen to her and all of that? That is just what, I wanted to speak about today, that it's not about your disempowerment. It is not the entire, because the way twin flame the label is, and the way videos are made on this, and the way it's very popular to sort of just fixate on the divine masculine, and all of that, and read all these comments about everybody sort of going through the same thing, or one experience or the other, which is very similar, in many, many aspects. One starts to think that this is about waiting. It is about being in that state of I am not enough, being in that state of I am in some sense disempowered now. My life is on a standstill. Well, it's not about that. Look at it as an awakening that you're going through, the awakening where your old self is dying, and look at the new self, that is being constructed, or perhaps the self which is completely being annihilated and you just existing as you are. So whatever it is, that is where your focus should be on. It should be on you. You deserve your focus. Okay. If you feel guided to book a one-on-one session, my email address is imacompletelife@gmail.com. You can email me and I will explain to you about how this session works and what is really included in this session. So I'll see you in the next podcast. Take care. Sending you love. Bye.